the scripted presidential debate tonight, the elites, the Illuminati that rig these elections, that have these appointed puppets, go here and they have a pre-planned set of questions that they ask all these candidates, and they know which questions are out there to meant to sway the polling to a particular candidate. And the easiest way to do this is to attack a candidate's prior electoral record, because there's a reason why they split the two debates and they did not put Warren and Harris against each other. Tonight they scripted the debate to have Kamala Harris be the big winner, to be a primary challenger to Elizabeth Warren. This election is scripted for the first female to become president of the United States, and tonight was scripted to put Pete Buttigieg out there in a more diverse America that has produced the most diverse Congress in American history, to have a gay man have a chance to go out there in advance, to go out here and have two women go out and dominate. Not that Bernie did bad or anything, just they didn't ask Bernie questions, and it was really centered around attacking Joe Biden's prior positions and to really carry forward the main primary challengers of 2020. Because Joe Biden is a corporate Democrat who's a center-right Republican who supported the war in Iraq. And you see, Bernie Sanders attacked Joe Biden for his record in the Iraq war, and then they asked Kamala Harris a question about race, and then Joe Biden starts to defend his record, and then she starts to bring up her busing incident. And let me tell you guys, she knew that that particular question was going to be asked in advance, and she knew before she stepped foot at that debate room tonight that she was going to bring up her busing story at that particular time, because it was scripted for her to jump ahead of the so-called racist old white man who votes along the establishment lines. And we know that Joe Biden is a corporate Democrat who extended the Bush tax cuts. He was for the Iraq war. Okay, he was for all these draconian so-called, criminal justice laws, that increase incarceration for the private prison industry. So that's what tonight was geared towards. Mayor Buttigieg served in Afghanistan. I want you to see in the article, he stood out tonight. They brought up a gun control or whatnot. They brought up a shooting incident that he didn't take care of at Indiana, and they brought up a question on gun control in Florida. He served in Afghanistan. It's Buttigieg that equals 146. It's Afghanistan that equals 146. And he's running as a Democratic candidate. It's Democratic that equals 46. So a lot of military candidates out there on the Democratic side, a lot of military congressmen. So I think this really buys the theory that we're going to be at war with Russia and another big global power like Iran with Elizabeth Warren in the White House. It's Pete that equals 46. Now, this debate was held at Florida. It's Florida that equals 65. Pete Buttigieg shined tonight in that particular debate when he was bringing up a particular issue on gun policy. If more guns made us safe, it would be the safest country in the world. But the Illuminati, the higher powers that script the questions, brought up this incident with minorities to be sure that he's not on top of Harris and Warren. So Pete Buttigieg 65, it's Florida that equals 65, it's Miami, Florida that equals 110, and so does Warren in Iraq that equals 110. Bernie Sanders went out and attacked Joe Biden with this vote for the Iraq war, so I like how Bernie did that over at Iraq war, the father of modern progressivism, the FDR of today. But Mayor Buttigieg is running to be the first Democratic president since Obama. It's Barack, it's South Bend, it's MLK that equals 36. Which brings us to the scripted debate night on June the 27th. The debate was held at Miami. Today was the 27th day. It's Miami that equals 27. Now, they were really hard on race tonight with Joe Biden. It was the 27th day today, and the date numerology of today was the date numerology of 72. So the busing question was really scripted, okay? Kamala Harris brought up, she couldn't bus the school, and Joe Biden voted against that. So it was scripted to get Joe Biden out of there really quickly. So that's what happened on the date numerology of 72 tonight. And this is why the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, stood out tonight as well, Mayor Buttigieg. So he was the other one that was supposed to shine tonight. Race was a big issue. Race, mayor, Miami, busing, racism all equals 27. So what am I referring to? So when I go up here and I go past Buttigieg, when I go back to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, so she exchanged with Joe Biden on the issue of race. She told him that she didn't think he was a racist, but she slammed his voting record against busing for black students. There was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public school, and she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats, and we have to take it seriously. And he attempted to defend his record, but his response fell flat. So she was attacking one of his votes against busing for black students, and she happened to be one of those who were affected by it. So the Illuminati knew this fact about Joe Biden, the higher elites that rig and script these debates, because these elections and these debates have political themes associated with them. In a more diversified voting population is really the driving theme behind this, and the acceptance of gay rights and whatnot in a more diverse America than before. Let's see what diversity equals. Funny how diverse equals 37, and so does Kamala Harris. But moving on, it was very clear that that incident was scripted. It was out to make Joe Biden look like an old white man, an old racist white man who votes with the establishment. I mean, he technically is a center-right Republican who likes higher taxes on the rich. He just better deficits than Republicans. Biden equals 25, racist equals 25. It's Trump that equals 25. I'm going to predict Trump to call him Racist Joe. He's going to call him Racist Joe, even though Trump is racist himself. Racist Joe, 37. It's Harris who attacked him with this civil rights record, which is ironic because he was the vice president of the first black man to be president, which is Barack Obama. Barack Hussein Obama, vice president Joseph Biden, civil rights equals 64. Civil Rights Act was passed in the year 64. It's Joe Biden that equals 64. It's pretty ironic, but at the end of the day, it's Freemasonic Zionists that rig over America. AIPAC and the Israeli Zionist bankers rule over America. The Rothschilds were the same ones who fought a world war over the establishment of Israel. They influenced American foreign policy. And they have center-right Republicans run as Democrats. That's how the Zionists infiltrate the progressive movement for we the people in America against the fight of big money for corporations. The Republicans are the sociopathic party of the elite on steroids. Now, Bernie Sanders triggers the conservatives really hard. Senator Sanders and conservative both have the same values. Very funny. Conservatives get really triggered by Bernie Sanders. He's their biggest threat, and because the right-wing ideology is that of the billionaires, their economic ideology, they don't allow Bernie Sanders to have the ticket to have the nomination. They need someone who they can control with super PAC money. Bernie Sanders wasn't going to take super PAC money. Now, racist Vice President Joe Biden was exposed as pretty much a typical conservative. A neo-Democrat, a neo-liberal. This guy's a Republican like Hillary Clinton. And understand that the questions tonight were scripted, that they weren't supposed to ask about They weren't supposed to bring up Kamala Harris's prosecutorial record. That I'm going to predict her fall. This number 172 seems to be connected with the dying of the campaign. And Joe Biden tonight was the first guy to take the sacrifice. They're going to bring up, I'm going to predict the moderators to bring up her prosecutorial record once they're past the Iowa caucuses, and during Super Tuesday, they're going to bring up her prosecutorial record. They're going to bring that up right before the Democratic National Convention. So those prosecutorial, her record is going to be brought up later on. Joe Biden exposes a fake for civil rights. Kamala Harris is a fake for civil rights. And the reason why Bernie Sanders is not a fake for civil rights is because Bernie Sanders got arrested for protesting, alongside MLK. I mean, this guy's a big part of American history, and they rigged an election against him. That was a 1963 arrest at Chicago during protests alongside demonstrators for Martin Luther King. Bernie Sanders, a freedom-fighting, loving American who's against the surveillance state, wants to tax the wealthy to increase our infrastructure to return us to a time that made America great. And these corporate center-right candidates are meant to keep the wealthy in power. I certainly hope Warren will be progressive in that. She'll be better than any Republican out there. I'll give her that. But again, Kamala Harris, the 27th District Attorney of San Francisco, she dominated the debate at Miami. It's Miami, that's 27. What can you say? It just shows how scripted these debates are. I mean, it was scripted to make Joe Biden look like the racist old white man tonight. And this is proof right here. But Kamala is going down later.